Welcome to today's episode of Engineering Success Profile Editions. Today we're joined by Tymèle Deydier, who is currently doing a PhD in chemical engineering at Loughborough University. Hi Tymèle, welcome to the show.
Hi, hello, thank you so much for having me.
Hi, it's great to have you here. Can we start right at the beginning? What made you choose a career in engineering?
So I think like a lot of engineers, I really enjoyed math and physics and chemistry when I was at school and high school. And it was actually my mom who suggested me that I looked into engineering.
Right.
I very much wanted to be a doctor, but was extremely scared of blood, which wouldn't have made me a very good doctor. So I didn't really know what to do after that. And my mom, she's not an engineer, but she works with a lot of engineers, and she suggested that I might actually like it. And I had a look into it, and I thought that was definitely something I would really enjoy, partly because it was so vast that I didn't have to specialize right away, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I like just having a lot of options open to me, and I like the idea of using all of the things that I had learned in my previous education and to actually put that into practice and actually make a difference in the world and in people's life.
Yeah. So you're currently studying your PhD in chemical engineering, like I said. Can you explain a little bit more about what your research subject is?
Of course. So to put it in simple words, so I work into drug encapsulation into microparticles or microcapsules, and more specifically polymer macrocapsules. So I know that's a lot of very difficult words. It can be. So basically, what I'm making are very tiny little capsules, just like the one you would have when you get a painkiller.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got these soft capsules, and if you tear them apart, you've got the powder in it.
Yeah.
This is basically what I'm making are these capsules, but mine are much smaller than your actual painkiller.
Right.
They're within the micrometer range, so which means that they are pretty much as small as the diameter of one of a human hair.
Okay.
They're extremely tiny, which means that I need to use very powerful microscope to actually be able to see these microcapsules that I'm making. And the aim of all of that is to basically protect a drug, so a pharmaceutical drug, to be able to protect it with a polymer capsule around it.
Yeah.
Protect it from the environment, so from humidity, from water, from temperature, but also to make sure that when these microparticles get into your body to treat the disease that you might have, so that the drug is protected until it gets to the point where you need it. So, for example, if you've got a tummy ache, to make sure that the drug is protected until it reaches your tummy, instead of getting lost into your mouth or your digestive system beforehand.
Yeah. So how did you come to choose that subject to research?
So when I studied my masters, I had to do my master's thesis. At that time, I was studying materials engineering, and I had the opportunity to do my thesis in bioengineering. So basically, engineering applied to biology and medical applications. And I really thought that was the best of both worlds for me, who wanted to be a doctor. So I was like, finally, I get to actually use engineering for someone that I've always wanted, something that I've always wanted to do. So actually improving people's health. And so from there, I realized that I really enjoyed that field, that I really enjoyed research as well, working in laboratory and doing some research, trying new things. And that's how I decided to go for a PhD. And then I had to look online and found that specific topic that I'm working on, and thought it was super interesting. I applied to it, got an interview, and then eventually got the PhD and started studying, basically.
Yeah, brilliant. So what skills do you think are needed to become an engineer?
That's a really good question. I think there are quite a few skills that are necessary to be an engineer. The first one would probably be the willingness to actually learn. and the eagerness to learn, because engineering is a lot about learning every single day. Every single day you learn new things, you realize that you didn't really know much every single day, which might sound bad, but I actually really love it, and this is why I really love engineering, is because I keep learning every single day, and it's not always the formal academical way of learning. It's just when you practice and when you do something, then you learn that something works, something do not work, and you learn from other people around you as well. So I think the eagerness to learn and being humble about what you know and what you don't know is probably a very good skill for an engineer to have. Being able to, I would say, problem solving, being able to focus on the solutions rather than on the problems, so trying not to get too caught up into the problem in crying for something that doesn't work and trying to find a solution to it. I guess that would be a really good skill as well. And not being afraid to try new things. With engineering, engineering is a lot about innovation as well, either creating new things or improving things that already exist and just to try to make them better. So I think an engineer has to learn to try new things and not being scared to try something that hasn't been done before, or something that you might not be sure is actually going to work. Well, just do it, try it, and if it works, very good. If it doesn't work, at least you know for sure that it doesn't work. So it's also very necessary to try things that don't work. This is how you just learn, basically.
Absolutely,
And I guess the two other ones would be more common skills for engineers, such as being able to collaborate. Chances are that as an engineer, you're actually going to work with other people. So you kind of need to be able to collaborate with other people, and always being humble about what you know, what you don't know, what someone might know better than you. And also communication. You need to be able to communicate with your team members, and you also need to be able to communicate clearly what you do. Sometimes if you get very specialized, exactly, if you get really specialized, it can be hard to explain in non-specialized term what you're doing, and to just communicate what you're doing to either different members of the team that are in the same field as you are, or to just people that are in a completely different field, maybe not even in engineering. You just need to be able to communicate with everyone and make sure that everyone understands what you're doing.
Absolutely, So what's the most challenging part of your job?
I would say, so as a PhD student, I think the most challenging part is doing something that nobody's really done before. So everything is pretty much up to you. So you're the only one to blame if it doesn't work. And unfortunately, it doesn't work most of the time. So I think that's also something very challenging. It's just getting to terms with the fact that a lot of what I'm doing isn't going to work, because that's just how it works. Nobody's done it before, so I just need to try all of the different options, and 8 times out of 10 is just not going to work. So it can get a little bit frustrating, but this is just how research works.
So for you, what's the most rewarding part?
I think it quite kind of links to what I've just said. I think being in charge of your own project and being the only one to blame can also be a good thing, because you're just very much responsible for every decision, pretty much every decision that you make within your project. Obviously, you always have some guidance and support from your supervisors, but you're always going to be in charge of making most of the decisions, making decisions in the laboratory, for me, for example. So I've loved the fact that I was just able to try very much different things, and on the spot I was thinking about something different that I could try, and I could try it right away. I didn't need to wait for someone to approve or for someone to do it with me. I think it was really beautiful to be able to try a lot of things that I wanted to try and I thought might work to improve my experiments.
So once you finished or you completed your PhD, what sort of positions are open to you, and how would you like to continue your career?
So I guess there are 2 main options after graduating from a PhD. The first one being remaining in academia, so becoming a lecturer.
Right.
and doing some research in academia, or then going into industry,
Yeah.
where people with a PhD tend to do research into industry, or then go on to completely different kind of jobs.
Right.
I lean more towards going into industry after my PhD.
Yeah.
I haven't had that many experiences in industry before because I've done all my degrees back to back, and I would really love to be able to learn everything that use everything that I've learned,
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
my PhD and
Yeah.
during my studies before, and actually apply that to real life and to help people and to actually make a real difference into people's life. So I think I would tend more into industry after I graduate, which is hopefully soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're the chairperson of Loughborough University PhD Social and Support Network. What does that actually entail, and how do you actually support students?
So I'm very, very happy to be able to be the chair of the Loughborough PhD Social and Support Network. And that society was created in 2014.
Right.
It was created basically because doing a PhD can be very lonely. Most people tend to work on their own.
Yeah.
Some work in research groups, but even then, you're always the only one working on your very specific project. And I
Yeah.
definitely felt very lonely at the beginning of my PhD because I was spending my day in lab and I wasn't really talking to other PhD students in my lab or in my department. And I was really pleased to discover the PhD Social and Support Network. So the aim of this society is to provide a safe place and space for PhD students to meet each other within the university.
Yeah.
So it allows PhD students to just meet other PhD students from other departments rather than just from their own department.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we organize a lot of social events, a lot of health and fitness events, art and culture, and also academic development events. We are run by PhD students, so it's all on a voluntary basis.
Yeah.
We do that on top of our PhD, and from what I know, all of the team really enjoy. They all enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
It's really rewarding to just see people attending the events. Obviously, we used to do events in person when that was allowed. So we had like pub nights or
Right.
walks,
Yeah.
or we had weekly runs as well. We organized all sorts of events. Right now, we're mainly focusing on online events, but still, it's good to see that people connect to each other
Yeah. Of
through the
course.
events that we organize, and we find it really important just to maintain and improve the well-being of PhD students during their PhD journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic thing. Yeah. So what advice would you give to a future engineer?
Go for it. I think just be open-minded, be
Yeah.
really open, because chances are that you're going to start within one field of engineering and end up in something that might be slightly different to completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because engineering is so varied and there are so many options that you're not going to know right away when you start, and that's completely fine because there are a lot of options to choose from.
Yeah.
I most definitely learn every single day by listening to podcasts or on social media about different fields of engineering.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for example, even bioengineering, so engineering also applied to medical applications. I had no idea that even existed when I started my studies. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
just be open and research as much as you can to just get to know what are the possibilities for you out there.
Yeah, yeah. So we know it's important to promote engineering. You do a lot of outreach work yourself. What would your message be to young people to actually attract them into engineering?
Engineering is everywhere, so there most definitely is going to be something within engineering that you are going to like. If you like sciences, if you like math, and if you really want to make a difference in people's life,
Yeah.
by all different ways, with it, that be medical or using technology or by building cleaner buildings or whatever, there are so many opportunities for you to actually make a difference in the world and in people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really rewarding to be part of this and to work together with a lot of different people on a same aim as improving people's life. yeah, there are so many possibilities. If you really want to make a difference, I would highly recommend that you have a look at engineering.
Tymèle, that's it. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really had a good time.
Thank you.